where we discuss all things of Earth and outer space, where we divine to pass the time, and no one can put us down or in our place. Grab your tea leaves or your spirits and gather around. The embers are glowing, warm flames abound. The hallowed hearth welcomes you now.
For generations we have stared into the night sky, whispering to the silent stars. We ask if we are alone. We ask what is out there. But perhaps the real question we should be asking is, are we actually ready for the answer? Tonight we are taking a massive leap beyond the horizon. Our co-host Rachel is away from the Hearth this week, hosting sacred events at the historic Ura Shrine. But the circle is open. And tonight, Haley and I are welcoming back a phenomenal researcher and contactee who has dedicated his life to initiating connection with the unknown, the brilliant Rupert Guy. From the heavy realities of interstellar disclosure to the active protocols of making contact, we're going deep into the cosmos. Pull up your chair, lock your doors, and keep your eyes on the skies, because tonight, the transmission is live. Please help me welcome my sister in spookiness and my co-host, Haley Hansen.
Hello. And
Haley, you have an extra face with you tonight.
Here's my twin, my mom, Holly. Welcome.
Hi, Mama.
The first time, girl. I'm usually just
the first time. But hey, Haley, your mama has been with us from day one. Usually you guys see her in the chat. She's usually our first hello. And she is our biggest supporter, I think.
We'll keep her.
So, hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. We have a special task for you tonight if you are open to it.
Dun, dun, dun.
You know what we do every week, we pull a card. So would you be willing to tell me when to stop and you'll be our card puller for this week?
Absolutely.
Okay, now I'm going to start shuffling and you just tell me when you feel pulled to stop.
Ready now. That was
Okay.
the wrong one. No, I messed it up. No.
Ooh.
Ooh. I like that.
We have the King of Wands.
Oh my goodness. I'm looking for a king.
And it says, shine your inner candlelight bright enough for others to follow.
I like that.
So yes, what is that little inner light? So let's see what the book says. Ooh.
I think this is our first king card too, right?
I think it is. Yeah, we usually get numbers.
Oh, cups.
Numbers or pages usually.
Yeah.
So the King of Wands says, welcome, the king greets you. When you're passionate about something, you can assume you're the only one who cares about it. But that's not the case. There are always people who care just as much as you do. This card can represent an adult or someone at any stage in life who's dedicated and passionate. They may be an authority figure in your life, or they may not be. Either way, they tend to give off a heartfelt yet assertive energy. They know just how to attract like-minded people in the pursuit of a common goal. If you're looking to achieve something big, perhaps it would be in your best interest to put up some metaphorical or literal flyers.
Made me
So,
get those flyers out there, girl. Yeah, that's my.
I don't know. You know, that kind of is what tonight's about.
No, another time.
You and your group are putting the flyers out there. You are letting other folks know you are open to experiences. So why don't you tell everybody who we have, besides just Rupert, that we're very excited to have back with us, but we have another guest tonight.
Tonight is a very special night. We are joined, as you said, by Rupert Guy, who hosts the Alien Contact Group, which is so cool and connects people from all around the world trying to gain knowledge and to explore what's out there and who's out there. And tonight we are also joined by Victoria Lee, who is a newer member of the group and exceptionally psychically talented right off the get go. We just instantly connected, and I'd love for you to hear what she thinks so far. It's been a lot fast.
So Rupert,
Hello.
Victoria, thank you both so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Hello.
What a delicate munch. Right. The beautiful people.
So, Rupert, for those of our newer family members, Hearth the Warmers, who did not see you the first time, tell us a little bit more about you and kind of what has drawn you to this world.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm a space scientist, so I come at everything in life with a kind of a logical, objective approach. I'm not much of a believer. I have researched the paranormal and alien stuff my whole life too. And so I apply my sort of scientific methodologies, my logic, to trying to understand the paranormal, supernatural, metaphysical, alien, whatever we want to call those other things. And as well as researching and trying to understand reality, I also have a very strong focus on morality, which is less objective, but I have been able to, through intellectualizing, I have been able to figure out quite a lot about morality that I think makes sense, and also makes sense from a interspecies alien perspective too. And so one of the things I'm trying to do with my alien contact group is to try to help humans to be to gain a moral perspective that is more interspecies, more galactic or universal. And on any one particular week, I will lead 3 or 4 online contact meditations, healing sessions with non-humans. I teach manifestation, remote viewing, a whole bunch of other psychic stuff. And every once in a while, I travel around also, and I host in-person contact events where I bring humans together with non-humans. And we've been pretty successful. We have a number of advanced non-human intelligence friends. So that's basically who I am.
That's excellent. Thank you so much for being with us.
Absolutely. We're currently doing our disclosure and UFO series. So last week's guest was Jesse Marcel from the Roswell incident, and I was hoping that you could give the viewers a little insight into the meeting that we held earlier this week and what that entailed.
Yeah, thank you for asking. So on Tuesday evening, you were there, Victoria was there, Holly was there. Sorry you weren't there, Katy, everybody else was. We were in a Zoom meeting where we meditated. I guided people through an astral projection to 1947, July 1947, to the craft that an hour later would crash somewhere close to Roswell. And we communicated with the beings that were on board that craft. We tried to see them clearly, get a feel for exactly which species they were. We warned them about the crash. That's something we have decided that we ought to be doing if we know about crashes. It's okay to go back and change the past for the better. Help consciousnesses if we can. And yeah, we had kind of a cool set of experiences. And then we came, we held on to sort of the characteristics of their species, which we determined was Eben, that's the name of the species. And we actually projected forwards again to the present day, and we located some Ebens. We know some Ebens quite well. And we asked them about possibilities of us working together more in the future. So it was quite a deep and involved meeting that we had.
I have goosebumps. I'm just like, I can't get settled down in this chair right now.
So just we're going through this so fast. It's kind of our pace normally because we do these things routinely, but to break it down for people who are newer to this, what I thought was very impressive during that meeting in particular was that Victoria joined us a little bit after the introduction to the Roswell crash and still picked up on the same entities and similar experience that the rest of the group reported as well. It was very cohesive reporting afterwards, even though she missed the introduction, wasn't necessarily familiar with the case. So either one of you, maybe Victoria, could you describe some of the beings that you encountered during the meditation?
Yeah, so initially, I had no idea what exactly we were viewing, but during the meditation, I picked up on a small alien, and it was inside the craft, and it was pointing outside of the craft, and showing me what looked like a facility out in the desert. And then when I looked to my right, I was able to see this weird ball-shaped thing in the room. It was kind of a mixture of vision and then voice, and I always write down what I hear, and I heard acceleration and inertia. And when we asked, how did the crash happen, that's what I received. And then Haley happened to have the same thing and actually drew it. And we had no idea of the connection. And that actually happens quite a bit during our meditations, during our astral projections. It, again, like Rupert said, it's pretty cohesive. And yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So she perceived these Ebens, and for most people who are encountering aliens for the first time or even diving into the different species, they're not one that is more popular. Rupert, could you describe the basic established characteristics of what an Eben is?
Yeah, Ebens are quite similar in appearance to greys. Greys are a little shorter, probably. We think this is true, but we've yet to verify it in person. Greys are a little bit shorter. They're a little more distant. They're not particularly excited when we astrally project to them and start talking to them. They usually sort of back away a little bit. Ebens, on the other hand, in appearance, they're similar. Classic sort of alien, bulbous head, large eyes. They're much friendlier. They are very, their emotions are very strong. They're passionate, they're funny, they like to joke. They often people see them behind me, just sort of peeking out from behind me like a kid who's there. I guess I'd probably do that if I was half the height of the other people in the group. And whereas greys don't tend to be male and female in terms of their organs, Ebens are male and female. They do have children, they have family units, and we know the Ebens quite well. Shall I tell my story about the Ebens that we know?
Yes, please.
Before you jump into that real quick, can you, Eben is formed from an acronym, correct? Can you break that down for people and then tell about the Ebens?
Certainly. So, so back in the late 40s, early 1950s, it seems to be that the people who were in charge of the Air Force programs where they were recovering craft and looking at different beings, they were categorizing the beings as with the initials EBE, extraterrestrial biological entity. And there's a leaked Majestic 12 document. Again, not entirely sure. Okay, it's probably not 100% genuine, because there's some major inconsistencies in there that don't quite work, but it was probably written later by somebody with inside knowledge. And in this document, they had EBE type 1, EBE type 2, two different categories of non-human being that they knew about back then. And over the years, one of these types, the Roswell incident type, an N was added to EBE, extraterrestrial biological entity. I guess that helped people for some reason. I'm not sure why. But
I guess.
that species is now not EBA, but EBUN. And there's a big history about the different EBUNs who were recovered in crashes in the late 40s, early 50s, kept in places like Area 51, EBA 1, then EBA 2, and then EBA 3. There's a whole possible history about our relationships with these EBUNs over the years. So that's where EBUN, the acronym or initialization, comes from. And our first interactions, baby alien fell over and hurt his head. You need to be more careful with your babies.
Flopped over. I felt bad. Go ahead. Sorry.
So yeah, a few years ago, I was hosting an online meeting where we were reaching out to different beings, and a short alien-looking creature came in and gave to our psychic members a vision of the future. It was a warning, essentially, of this is what your future is. It was the world is on fire. And it's a warning, if you continue along the path you're going along, humanity, that's where you're going to end up. And so we were thankful for the warning, even though it's disturbing to see the reality of what the future currently is. And we asked this being, what species are you? And he said, EBUN. So I recognized that name immediately, even though it was new for a lot of people in the group. And I asked, what is your name? Individual name. And he said, well, we assign ourselves human names to help our interactions, our communications with humans go more smoothly. I said, well, what human name have you assigned to yourself? He said, Jean-Luc. I said, okay, how did you get that name? Or why did you choose that name? He said, I like Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
Me too.
So yeah, we know a bit about what sort of thing they like to do in their spare time, and one of the things they like to do in their spare time is watch Star Trek Next Generation. And then a few months later, while I was hosting an in-person contact event in Blue Springs, Missouri, with a bunch of professional psychics and mediums and energy healers, we saw a craft land, a flying saucer land, only about 30 feet away from us. 5 small entities got out and walked towards us. One stepped forwards and was clearly female. And I asked, what species are you? EBUN. I asked, what is your name, your individual name? And she said, Deanna. I said, oh, interesting. How did you get that name, Deanna? And she said, Jean-Luc gave it to me. And then she said, and my name is connected to his name. And we thought about it. I see you nodding your head, Katy. You've realized the connection.
Star Tech nerds.
Counselor
I have
Deanna Troy.
very recently been introduced to Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah.
I was not a Trekkie at all until about 2.5 years ago. So yes, all of this stuff is like all fresh and new, and I'm just like, that is the sweetest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Right.
Yeah. And so what we received with those two separate events, different people, none of them knew the word Eben before. And what we received was a logical proof, conclusive proof that these beings are real. And the fact that there's that Star Trek connection as well is an extra layer of corroboration, which is very fun. Yeah.
Final frontier. Yes, Todd.
There's the reason I know anything about Star Trek at all.
Yay, Todd. Hi, Melinda.
I know. I see some familiar names in the comments. Welcome, everyone, for joining us tonight. Wow. So, let me see. I had a train of thought. I'm trying to retrieve it.
Shall I continue? Shall I continue to talk about the Ebens?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we work with the Ebens now, because the next day I met again with Deanna. We can meet with them whenever we want. They know us, and all we need to do is think about them, and we can connect with them psychically. And so we do. And I met with her the next day, and I asked her, is there anything I can do for you? Because most of the time it is human beings connecting with these alien beings and saying, please, can you give me your technology? Please, can you save us from war? Can you stop the wars? It's always like us asking them to do things for us. But I decided, well, let's be a little bit more considerate. And I asked her, what can we do for her? And she liked that. And she then shared some very profound historical visions of their past. And I'm not going to go into them right here and now because they're a little bit sensitive. But basically, she's given us a mission. And it's a very profound and important mission that is trying to do something important for all of us, something very peaceful and harmonious and spiritual. And so we work with these beings now in a way that is really bringing humans and Ebens together. And this is just one example of one of the species out of probably 10 species that we actually have very close connections with. And I work with, in my group, we have a number of very skilled and talented psychics, mediums, and Haley and Holly and Victoria are three very talented psychics, and all three of them can see beings, the beings that we connect with quite clearly. They can all hear responses when we ask them questions. And I apologize for doing this. I know this is not my show, but is it okay if we get Victoria to explain her in-person experience that she had today, because this will help your viewers to see just how important the work we're doing is.
That is absolutely where I wanted to go with this. Yeah, because I wanted to mention that I did say that Victoria was newer to our group, but I really do feel like everyone that meets with each other regularly, that we've all come together for a reason. And it really does feel like there are things that tie us together beyond just curiosity. Things that feel kismet, a purpose,
Absolutely.
a desire to want to be better and to do better for the planet and for each other, and to also reach out with love. And I feel like every one of us who has met has had similar moral understandings and desires to do good. So when Victoria joined us, she picked up on my energy immediately, which was really cool. Her psychic energy and perceptions blew me out of the water. And it was like a destined meeting. So I would absolutely love it if she can tell us about her experience, because it's next level. We've had some cool things going on in our regular meetings, and then Victoria comes in and
skip the introduction course and went straight to,
Yeah, she went straight to, whew.
I was like, here I am,
With a bang.
Are you referring to my bedroom experience? Normally I wouldn't say that on.
It is that kind of show.
Anything goes, you go for it.
Yeah, so in a nutshell, let me back up actually just a tad. I'll tell you a little bit about my history slightly, and then I'll get to that. But I actually my whole experiences actually started in the paranormal realm. Thank you so much. And seeing spirit as a child, communicating, that kind of thing, and then that was kind of shut off for a bit on purpose. And then as I got older, I like to call it like a spiritual midlife crisis, right? And I was kind of looking for purpose, right, and meaning in things, and I came across extraterrestrials, alien contact, that kind of thing, and the message that I got from that, and what got me interested in everything in the first place, was something so basic, and it was like an epiphany for something that was so simple on what my purpose should be, and that simply was just love, just to love other people, love the universe, love my surroundings, that kind of thing. And so when I started to get into CE5 contact and doing contact events, that was the purpose behind it, universal love and peace. So with that said, I started doing CE5 contacts out and about in the state of Ohio. And after one particular event, about, I want to say 2-3 months later, I was in my bedroom. I was asleep. And I was woken up for something unknown. I just decided I got to get up. I opened my eyes, and there was a hooded being in my room, and this very, very, very bright light. And when I looked up at the hooded being, you can make out I'm going to say it was his face. And it just stood there, and it stared so intently. And there was a presence there. And I honestly couldn't tell you how long we were just there. And he said one word, one sentence, and it was, "It's time." And then it disappeared. However, luckily in that time, I always sleep. Everybody needs to know this, of course. I sleep with my remote control to the TV and my phone under my pillow. And in the time we were there, as I was laying down, I pulled out my phone and I snapped a photo of it. And I have that, and I shared that with Rupert. It took me months to decide to do that. That was in February of this year, and it was fairly recent where I decided, okay, I'm gonna share this, and that's what I did, and here we are. And that can sound crazy to whoever they want, but that's my truth. That's what it is, and it only goes on from there. So,
yeah,
good picture. It's very, very compelling, and
it was even more compelling when Rupert decided to brighten the photo.
Oh no!
Yeah. I mean, we don't judge by looks, but that was a little jarring.
It wasn't a negative experience at all. There was no negativity behind it. This is a voice I've heard before, but to actually see where the voice was finally coming from was something else. And yeah, initially it does look terrifying, if I'm going to be honest. If you're, but just based off the photo, it does look terrifying. But it wasn't.
Now, Victoria, your background, you said, is from more of a psychic aspect. So what is it that initially made you think this is not necessarily spirit, but something more otherworldly? More
I've kind of explained that to a friend of mine and Rupert, even that it was a distinct different type of energy. It wasn't your typical, spiritual energy that I was used to working with, or, even see around my home. It was just something completely different. And that's what led me to believe that. And then also the type of light that came in, I've never seen that. It was so bright that it was almost blinding, that you couldn't almost see the hooded figure. And I didn't even know it was actually a hooded figure until I woke up the next day and saw the photo. So, yeah.
So good. What that ties into is the more that our group interacts with each other, it seems the more profound experiences we tend to have, and the more abilities and perceptions tend to grow. So my question for you, Rupert, is I know that you are trying to facilitate forms of disclosure moving forward with interactions based on peace and love, and try to control environments so that beings that we potentially interact with face to face one day do it in a manner with which they feel safe. Do you think that this is them testing the waters with some of us, or why do you think some of this might be happening?
I think you mentioned it earlier on. People are being guided together.
Yes.
Some of it is our own psychic ability guiding us, our own psychic intuition, but most of it, from in my opinion, is are alien beings who are seeing people who have the potential to play an important role in the betterment of all species, and they are taking those people and guiding them together. I know I've received logical proof on a number of occasions that people have been guided to me. People walk into the same hotel in which I'm sitting and feel like they need to walk in a certain direction, walk up the stairs, turn the corner, and then they see me, and then they see the beings around me. People are these beings are guiding people together. So, I can't say for certain with individuals, but I wouldn't be at all surprised, Haley, Holly, Victoria, if you three have been guided to me, or we have been guided together by non-human entities. And then it comes down to why have we been guided together? What's the purpose? We all have different roles to play in this, and clearly Victoria has the ability to connect physically, visually, with non-human entities, and is very skilled psychically also, so can hear what they're saying telepathically and communicate with them. That's extraordinary. Haley, I'm sure everybody watching this knows she is extraordinarily talented in a number of different ways, and is definitely working towards bringing people together for good purposes. Now, the thing that I am doing with my group that is maybe different from a lot of other people that are doing something similar to this. If you imagine, if you think of doing a meditation, reaching out to these beings, trying to connect with them, that is a little bit like walking up to somebody's door and knocking on the door. Okay? And then when these beings open the door, what is happening in most situations is people are going, oh my God, I can see you. Oh my God, I can see you. Look, can you flash for me? Can you do this for me? Can you zoom across the sky? Save us, give us technology. And the aliens are kind of like, okay, and they close the door.
Yeah.
And so, it's like if somebody knocks on your door and you open the door, you're going to want you're going to want them to say something pretty special for you to want to give them some of your time.
Yeah.
And what is it that we are saying to them that is making them pay attention? What we're saying to them is, we as individual human beings, we've figured out what's important if we are to be friends.
So,
If
Rupert,
we as
would
human
be a-
beings want to be able to hop on board a flying saucer and fly off to the planet Serpo with the Ebens sometime for early morning coffee, or whatever they have over there, then they're only going to want to do that if we are not going to cause any problems. They're only going to want us to stay over in their homes if we're not going to cause any problems. But unfortunately, human beings tend to cause problems.
True.
If you look throughout the history of humanity, we cause problems. We're kind of, as a species, parasitic. We use, we exploit, we harm for our own benefit. We do it even to us, among our own species. We definitely do it with other species. We've initiated the 6th great mass extinction on this planet, and not enough people seem to care about it. We're pushing ourselves towards catastrophic climate change, which the Ebens and many other species are warning us about. We're not doing anything about it. And so what we're doing with these beings is we're knocking on the door and saying, okay, please give us a chance. We've figured out how to be peaceful. We've figured out how to be harmonious. We've figured out how to be your friends. And they've heard us. They've looked into our hearts and minds, and they've determined that, yeah, we've got it. We've figured it out. That's why this group is being supported. That's why beings are being guided to us, because we're teaching what needs to be taught in order to elevate humans to high enough levels.
Thank you. Was there something you were going to say, Victoria?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to sum it up to, I think the reason that what we do is working and how we're able to make this connection is simply because of the intent behind it. It's not to say, hey, hi, here I am. It's actually to make that connection, a meaningful connection, and that intent alone, when you put that into a manifestation in your meditations or what have you, and you really feel that, in your core, that the universe hears you. Bottom line. That's just how I look at it. That's what it feels like. And it's all about your intent.
Absolutely.
100%.
So now that we have kind of a baseline for that, kind of walk us through, for those that want to join a part of your community on Patreon, whatever, and become a part of kind of these viewings, these group outings, I'll call them, because it sounds like a group outing, even though it's all over Zoom. We're finding that space together and exploring. What could someone expect if they came on for the first time and they were just, I'm open-minded, I want to learn, I want to experience? What can they kind of expect to come into the room?
Yeah, good question. So yeah, if anybody listening to this right now is thinking, oh yeah, I'm interested in trying this out. My group is patreon.com/alien contact, and there's different membership options. We do these events in tier 1, so join tier 1, and most Tuesday evenings we will then gather in a Zoom meeting. So you can access the Zoom link, you can click on that link, you can join a Zoom meeting, and it's very fun and casual and friendly. We chat a bit, we just sort of catch up with each other. If you like the idea of being part of a friendly community of human beings, this is it. And then typically I will, after a few minutes, I will give some kind of a formal introduction to what to the species we're going to connect with. For example, the other day it was Arcturians, and I talked about how I first encountered Arcturians, the names of the Arcturians we encountered, how we managed to be able to verify on 2 or 3 different occasions the names of these Arcturians and the fact that they're real, and then I will guide people through a meditation. It doesn't matter if you've never meditated before. I will just guide us through the process. I will guide us through taking our consciousnesses to wherever or whoever we need to connect with, and I have the psychic ability to take people's hands and take them off to different times and places, and I wouldn't be surprised if the other people in this meeting can do the same. And so we all go as a spiritual group, a collective. We do push out from within us any darknesses, any negativity, any hatred, and we focus on the love, we focus on the light, we focus on trying to be as ascended as we possibly can be, so that when we pull ourselves up towards whichever beings we want to connect with, we're just shining bright stars of love light, and they feel that instantly. Most of them already know us, and so it's no big surprise when we show up. But we can then, in that meditation, we can ask telepathically, we can ask questions of these beings. We can get to know them better. Sometimes we give like little cultural exchanges. We share with them things that are going on in our lives, memories that make us happy, that sort of thing, our favorite music. We get to know each other. And it's friendship building. It's chatting with each other. And if there's mysteries that we want to solve, like what happened in the Roswell situation, we can ask about that too. That's essentially what we do. And so anybody participating in that, a lot of people, many people do have psychic ability, and will be quite surprised that they will start to see images of beings coming in. They will see them, they may hear them, they may feel their presence. Other people who are not as psychic, it's rare that people don't feel anything at all. Most people feel something, even if it's just like occasional glimpses of a face, or the feeling of movement when we're astrally projecting. But then we all come back from that meeting. We come out of the meditation and we discuss our perceptions. And this is where it can be very interesting, because different people very frequently will discover that they've had the same perception. They've seen the same unusual looking being with a bird-like face, for example. Like 3 or 4 people will see the bird-like being that was there, or they'll hear the same messages. And again, by doing it in a group, this builds up sort of a confirmation, a proving of what we're doing. And because of these meetings, after you've met one of these beings, basically we've given you an introduction. We've knocked on the door for you. We know which doors to knock on. We've knocked on the door. We've opened the door. We've had a chat with the beings behind the door, and we've said, hey, here's a new person. This person is called Elizabeth. And then whatever this new person, the connection that has been made between Elizabeth and this being, that can then be reestablished at any time. And a lot of people do that after they've connected with beings in my group. they can sit at home by themselves and think of those beings, and the beings will come in and they can get to know them. So yeah, if I recommend to anybody watching this, please do go ahead and join our group and give it a shot if you want to participate in this whole disclosure process, in connecting humans and non-humans peacefully with each other.
It's good to make friends before other people try to mess it up.
Yeah.
Come on, Katy.
I have a weird question.
Sure.
Rupert, you've been on the show before. Haley, you know it. Of course, it's a weird question. So when we've had you on before, when we've talked about other folks who have had encounters like this, you know, you talk about what you see in these meditations. Sometimes you do hear a voice. Do you guys ever get like sense? Like, I don't want to say odors because it has such a weird connotation to it, but like, you know, if you're somewhere else, you know, if I go to Haley's house, it's going to smell different than my house does. You know, if I go to Victoria's, you know, she's going to have built up this completely other scent profile in her home. So do you guys ever get context like that? Like either them sharing something with you from where they're from, or, you know, do they wear perfumes like we do?
I'd like to direct this one to you because you haven't spoken yet. Do you remember the shared experience of meeting the goblins?
Yes.
Can you explain what that was like for us?
Oh my gosh. So we were meeting the goblins. They are an underground species of alien. They're not particularly friendly, as Melinda and I will agree on that for sure. Can be a little bit grumpy because basically they live under, they have some reservations. We've been poisoning their earth, the actual soil is dripping down into their homes, and they're not fond of us for that reason. Anyway, long story short is I forget what I was going to say.
The shared smell experience.
So we're meditating. Haley's always across the room from me with a sofa in between, and she's like, "You're snoring." I'm like, and I'm like, "I'm not snoring." And I'm like, "I'm not snoring. I can't breathe." And I felt like I was underground with them, and I could smell the wet soil, and I felt like the dust and the humidity and the moisture was just cloying, and I was like choking. And then some other people in the group said the exact same thing, and I was like, okay, I'm not completely crazy.
I smelled dust. I smelled
kind of like mildewy.
Can't breathe well. I was on the other side of the room, and I was tearing up a storm. I literally was taking tissues. And I'm like, I'm crying. I don't know. I'm crying. I can't stop. My eyes are watering. But it was a very visceral experience, and that wasn't an attack. That was just we have entered their world, and
that was their atmosphere.
This is what they're dealing with, and we were thrust right into it.
But there's also been other times where we visited people in different, I can't think of one exactly, but I remember one time very strongly we smelled flowers, like a jasmine, like a wonderful jasmine gardenia kind of smell. I don't know where we were, but it was amazing. So it's not always bad, or good, quote unquote. It's just their environment.
And that is a great question, because smell is one of the overlooked senses.
It is one of the clairs.
What was that?
It is one of the clairs. So it's like clairgustance is kind of what you're it sounds like you're experiencing.
Smell something, it takes you back instantly. If you smell pizza, you remember that memory of the
of course
seat and the pizza. I mean, it's like same with fragrances. You smell somebody's cologne, you remember somebody you might have dated or somebody in your family that wore that cologne. I mean, remember, it's
a powerful thing to experience, especially from a meditative point of view, because these are places you've never been before, and you're like, why am I experiencing this? And when you break it down and it all confirms itself, it's really powerful. Mom and I will just do a brief tangent. Since we've been doing this meditation process with Rupert for going on 3 years now, and it doesn't feel like it's been that long, but it's been a very life-changing experience all around. And Mom and I, part of the reason we loved it from the get-go is because we both have aphantasia. So we don't have the perception. It's a genetic thing. We don't have the ability to imagine things in full, complete mental image. but
especially not in color.
especially not in color. I remember being 6 years old and they're like, all right, close your eyes and meditate and picture an apple or whatever they try to do to calm kids down. And it's just never been something that I could actually do. I'm like, I don't know what they're doing. They must be having fun because I can't see anything. But we start to get into these meditative states and the combined energy comes in and all of a sudden it's like an image is just plopped in your mind's eye. And I'm like, whoa, where did that come from? And sometimes it's not always clear, but the more I try to get impressions of what it is, and then other people confirm what they've seen, I'm like, oh, these were eyes that I drew, and that makes sense now. But yeah,
it's like puzzle
the
pieces.
senses come in, and the more you
Yeah.
practice it, and the more you're less resistant to admitting things that you think you're perceiving, the more likely
Yes.
you are.
Say
to
the weird
experience.
things, write down the weird things.
That's
Because
what I
as
was
the group
trying to say.
speaks, all the weird pieces will come together. You go, oh, that's what that meant. It
Well,
clicks.
because the skeptic in my mind is like, you could suggest a face shape, you could suggest a voice, you could suggest something, but if you experience a smell and somebody who is, 7 states away experiences that same smell, for me, it would lock it in better. I'd be like, oh my God, this really was something.
It happens all the time. Our friend Melinda's in Australia, hours and hours and hours time difference a little bit, and she'll see the same things. And a lot of, we almost always journal. We'll stop and journal, go right back into meditation, and we draw pictures, and then it boom, 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 boom. Everyone starts showing us stuff that we're like, oh, they saw it too, and it's crazy cool, y'all.
I remember watching on Ancient Aliens, well, growing up really, seeing remote
Razor.
viewers and thinking, wow, this is something that must have been like super highly specialized and trained in the CIA and only special agents and people can do it. And then you realize that it's really just a matter of sitting still and tuning things out and paying attention to the person guiding you through it, and it happens pretty naturally. So that was really cool. The first time we experienced that, I'm like, whoa, this is something that more people need to try out because you'd really shock yourself.
Yeah.
It's hard for everyone, but especially I think Americans, I don't know, but maybe just this age, to sit still and be in your body, be in tune with your thoughts and your mind, and just calm the heck down. We're not good at that.
Yeah, well, time is monetized lately, so
Yeah.
if you're not being productive every waking moment, but I
Or
would
phone,
also
you gotta
argue
be
that
on.
the missions that our group tries to achieve, I do think that they are very worthwhile the time, and they are very productive.
And everybody always feels good because we have taken time to calm your whole body from head to toe, to breathe, to smell, to
Be present. Yeah.
to interact with people of like-mindedness. It's really, really cool, guys.
And I got to meet you guys.
Yeah.
So that's enough all in itself.
Love you.
Yes, absolutely.
So now, Rupert, what would you, I guess if somebody was watching us for the first time tonight
It's a
and they're like,
We're
yeah, sorry about that, guys. If this is your first night, welcome. Like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube things real quick while we're talking about it. But, if somebody was like, okay, I've been skeptical long enough, maybe there is something to this. Would you, I'm like a both feet dive in or jump in, consequences be damned kind of a person. But would you recommend like small bites and kind of feeling things out? Would you recommend like getting in touch with
Nope.
somebody, or are you kind of a watch the YouTubes and
Nope.
kind of
No. First of all, I will say skepticism is good.
Yeah.
Don't let go of your skepticism, but remain open. You can have both at the same time. Be open to the possibilities, but always be skeptical of the possibilities. Don't believe what I say. Don't believe what we're saying. Experience it for yourself. Jump into the deep end of the pool here. A lot of people will say, "Oh, I'm not very good at meditating. I'm gonna wait until I'm better at meditating before I join you." No, join us and we'll teach you how to meditate.
Yes.
You'll get better very quickly at meditating by being with us. A lot of people contact me and say, I'm actually scared. I'm actually scared of aliens. So I need to get over my fear of aliens before I join you. No, join us and you'll be filled with, you'll be in an environment that is so loving and friendly and fun that you won't have any fear at all when we connect with these beings, and you'll be like, oh, okay, this is what it's like.
I will testify to that. Absolutely. I found this group because of an experience that I had that was terrifying. And I'll say I had an in-person encounter. I've never admitted that on the show before, but it was jarring. With
The cloaked dark being
like, oh yeah.
in our dining room.
You're just now telling me this.
More to tell you, but that is not for this show. People are not ready for this. That's your first step, but yeah, no, that's what happened. I saw something in my house, and it came back, and I had sleep paralysis essentially, but I was wide awake. I was very aware of my situation, and there was something in my house, and it moved, and it went outside, and it caught my flood cameras, my floodlights. And then I look around and I'm like, there's a ship out there, and I recorded it for a long time, and it was changing shapes, and it was lit up, and yeah, that was a lot.
And Mama Bear's upstairs sound asleep, and she cannot call me, because she's basically paralyzed. And when I found that out, that kills a mama. Let me tell you, I was like, what the? I did not like that. I did not like that creature in my house. I had to listen to Rupert and the other members and go, okay, they're all wasn't necessarily
it took a while of being directed through different venues to find this group and connect with it before. And I was terrified. I didn't want to tell anyone what I was going through, and especially during the first couple of meetings, I'm like, I don't know.
Is she crazy? Do I need to get her help? Commit her? What do I do?
But
it's a little weird.
It is a little weird, but you get used to it.
Yeah.
But you find your people, and like I said, I came in with a lot of fear, a lot of hesitation, and by just jumping in the deep end, that's what I'm trying to say, connecting with a safe place, it took away that fear for me, because I was able to unpack and get understanding as to what was going on. So I do recommend that, especially for people who are scared, to come in, because this is a safe place, and you're leading with love and light, and only inviting the same to come back to you. Nothing's going to come through.
We're not bringing anything evil in. We're bringing in kind, loving, accepting human and non-human beings.
Yes.
This is a great group of people that we deal with. And we met Victoria through Ed, who we all love. And
but yeah, if you're scared, this is even more of a reason to jump in, because you will find answers and you'll find more comfort than you could have imagined.
Sweet people.
And shout out to Tuk Tuk, the first being that I connected with in one of our meetings. We jumped into a healing meeting, because I'm like, all right, well, if anything, we're gonna try to get some healing for my mom here, because she needs a lot. But that was the most love I've ever really felt, especially for something that I couldn't see. So that sold me immediately, and I knew that there was something going on here that needed to be explored, especially to get out of my comfort zone.
Haley's like, look at my cute puppy, and she's like, I want to see that white cat. I mean, we both felt that she wanted the cat.
And that was a perception that I couldn't have imagined, because it wouldn't have made sense logically that I was having this conversation with a being that I'd never connected with before, and she's actively saying, I want to play with this pet, and had a personality that I didn't expect. And
it's crazy and
wild. It blows your mind every time.
And fun. It was really fun.
It was really fun.
A lot of these beings will crack you up. They have a great sense of humor. A lot of them are very playful, and they just interact and they do stuff, and you're like, oh, didn't expect that. It's really great.
But they've all got personalities just like all of us do. So it's nice to meet new beings.
Well, I'm so glad you're able to do that a few times a week, Rupert. I know it's hard for everybody to kind of mesh a schedule, especially when it's something you want to experience and you want to learn more about, to say, okay, but I can't do Tuesday nights. So yeah, I'm so glad you have those other opportunities for people to kind of join your community.
Yes.
Including this. Sorry guys, it's Thursday. It's Leonard's Day. Hi.
It's beautiful.
Another
He knows it too.
non-human entity.
Yeah, this is my favorite non-human.
Well, is there anything that you're able to share with us that we have coming up?
Well, okay. Let's see.
Top secret, so I wasn't sure, but just tossing it out.
Yeah.
Got it all up going.
I'm doing a healing meditation on Sunday in my group, so yeah, people are welcome to come along to that. I am also next week. I am going to be heading off to Scotland.
I knew it. Take me with you. It's my dream.
She's so jealous.
And so come along. Why not?
Jason's out there too.
Yeah. And I'm hosting a contact event, an in-person contact event in Glasgow.
Wow.
And maybe then the next day in Edinburgh, and maybe the next day in Aberdeen. And, you know, people have been contacting me from like somebody's flying from Norway to Scotland to participate. Somebody else wants to fly across from Ireland to participate, which is not quite as far, but yeah, people are excited about these possibilities. And while I am in the UK, I will continue to host my online events for anybody that wants to join our group. So yeah, very exciting stuff. And most of what's coming up I can't tell you about because it's top secret. But we are working to. I am working with a number of people all around the world. Some very important big names out there. We're working towards putting on some kind of a real disclosure event, not what the government is presently doing, which isn't bad. It's just not complete. And the disclosure event that we're going to be putting on, if we can get it sorted, we'll have them landing next to us.
Yes.
And I would love, when that happens, to have some of you guys standing in person with me.
Yes. Oh, yes, please.
And there's a lot more to it, a lot more going on, but I'm not going to give away too many details. But come to our events, and you can be on the forefront of disclosure.
Yeah.
Like we are on the forefront of disclosure. We're a fairly small group, but we're right there, talking with all of the beings, negotiating with the beings, figuring out what we need to have happen in order for them to, when we knock on the door and they open the door, they actually come with us down to our planet, down to our physical realm, and stand side by side with us when we introduce them to humanity. That's what we're working on.
Yay!
Yeah. Well,
just that little thing.
Lots more reasons to have you back on the show, it sounds like. But this has been amazing. Yeah, I've had goosebumps all night long, you guys. This is something. This is yeah, completely kind of outside the Katy wheelhouse. So I'm so grateful to you, Rupert and Victoria, both for being here tonight. Haley and our little show Mama Holly.
Little mom.
Little mom.
I think I'm going to put that on my profile soon.
I think you should. Show Mama? Yeah.
Little mama.
But yeah, this is what another incredible night. I feel like our folks have learned a lot more, and I feel like every time we have you guys on the show or we talk about this, it makes it a little bit more comfortable for people. Kind of takes that Hollywood government fear out of it, I think. And I don't want to say humanizes those experiences, but I think a little bit.
Alienizes more of ours.
Yeah.
But if we can, if we can start to to gain a little bit more empathy for, those folks, and maybe a little bit more humility for our own place in the universe.
That would be great.
We'll be a little bit better off.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I know we could probably, this is another one of those nights where we could just go on for hours. But everybody who was here with us tonight, thank you so much for watching, for listening. If you are listening to this later on one of the other platforms, thank you so much for searching us out and spending a little bit more than an hour with us. The Hearth will be back with all three of us next week on Thursday at 9 o'clock right here. So please make sure that you tune in. Please check out Rupert's socials. He's kind of everywhere. So follow him on everything. Reach out if you have questions about what he is doing during these CE5 events. You can always reach out to Haley as well. She'll have all the contact information, all the event info. And until next week, thank you guys so much. Please be kind to each other. It doesn't cost you anything. It really doesn't. And we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing with us, Victoria.
Bye, guys.